I have so much root spray on right now because I swear I woke up and I had like 40 gray hairs this morning. I don't know what the heck happened. Alright, so today it's Foundation Friday. This is where I try out a new foundation every single Friday on my channel, 6 p.m. Pacific time. My makeup is looking a little bit rough today, but we'll get into that later on in the video. We can just ignore that. It's one of those days. But today we're going to be trying out a new foundation by Juvia's Place. This is their Shade Sticks Multi-Purpose Foundation Sticks. This foundation retails for $16 on Ulta, or you can get it on the Juvia's Place website. It's actually half off on their website right now. It's on sale for $8.80. But this comes in 30 shades. It has 0.34 ounces of product, which is pretty standard for a stick foundation. Makeup Forever has the most out of any stick foundation I've found that has 0.44. But it says it's a full coverage, natural radiant finish, multi-purpose foundation stick. Comes in 30 shades, feels like skin, weightless as it glides seamlessly to cover imperfections while giving full definition to the face. It says it is infused with shea butter, but also has oil controlling ingredients. I picked up the shade Aberdeen, which is the second to lightest shade, so I'm going to insert swatches right here so we can see what this shade looks like next to some of my other foundations. So here are a few swatches. Right here is the Juvia's Place Stick Foundation in Aberdeen. Next over is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Stick Foundation in the shade Y215. This one is a pretty close shade match for me. It's a tiny bit light, but it does oxidize a little bit, so I feel like this one is pretty close, and this is what I've been wearing lately. I love this foundation, by the way. Next over is the Joa Truly Yours Foundation in the lightest shade 110, and then the Kokie Full Coverage Matte Foundation in the shade 10W. So if you're excited for this video and you enjoy Foundation Fridays, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I have a whole Foundation Friday playlist down below in the description box. Okay, so it is 9:33 when we're starting this. I am fully bundled up because it is about 2 degrees in this room right now. So I have the shade Aberdeen. That just reminded me of Hunger Games. Wasn't the girl's name Aberdeen or something? Probably not. Hopefully this shade will match. I have no idea. I got a little water right here when I was washing my sponge. It's gonna dry. It's all good. We're just gonna cover that up. So my favorite brush to apply stick foundations is the Sigma F82. This one is awesome, but I'm still gonna try my other side with a sponge. This is clean, even though it doesn't look clean. This is a damp sponge, and we're gonna do half my face with either. So full coverage, natural radiant finish. All right, let's do this. So I'm gonna start out on this side. Uh-oh. Why do I keep doing this to myself? I keep buying too light foundation. My face is darker than my neck, but this one looked, okay, the outside of here definitely looks darker, and then when you rub, like, get the first layer off, it's way lighter, so that's fun. We're gonna be Caspergen today. Can't wait. Okay, let's do a brush on this side. Okay, so off the bat, it feels pretty stiff to blend out. It's not like gliding or doesn't feel super creamy. It feels pretty dry and stiff, which is interesting because it says it has shea butter in it, so I was kind of picturing it to be gliding a little bit smoother. Definitely doesn't look like full coverage either. I can see all of my freckles and everything coming through. Right now it's looking like light coverage. It's basically just covering the redness and making my face lighter, but it's not really covering anything. And it's looking dry and matte. It doesn't look very radiant to me at all. Let's go in with a sponge on this side. Maybe this one needs just some moisture. Okay, this feels so stiff blending out. Look at this. Okay. This is actually reminding me of the Kokie stick foundation. Looks like sheer coverage with a sponge. Finish looks about the same. It still looks pretty dry and matte. So I'm going to do a brush with this one. I still have a ton of unevenness and like redness and stuff coming through, so I am going to build it up a bit, but let's try my forehead first. I feel like I look pretty scary right now between the shade and just the patchiness and everything happening, so let's try and even this out. I'm going to try and build this up a little bit and just make it look a better attempt too. It feels so dry. If you have even like normal to dry skin, I mean, it feels very dry. It is building. I'm getting better coverage there right now, but it still looks pretty uneven and just like patchy. I'm only building this up right here on my scarring because I feel like if I bring this anywhere over here, I mean, it's already starting to crease on my upper lip. At least the coverage builds, I wouldn't say it looks like good or anything now, but at least it's covering some of the redness that was still coming through and everything. It's just overall looking pretty dry. It doesn't look radiant at all. And I would also say this is light buildable coverage. Nowhere near full coverage. Right now I'm not liking this one at all. I wouldn't reach for this one again unless something like miraculous happens where it just really warms up to my skin throughout the day or something, but right now definitely not a fan. Doesn't blend out well, looks pretty patchy, doesn't have as good of coverage as it claims, and overall it just looks pretty dry. So right now it's 9:44. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and try and warm up my face with a lot of bronzer and stuff since it is a bit light. I think the shade is probably like half a shade to a shade too light. It could have gone with one shade up, but it's always hard to tell when you're just guessing online. So I'll be right back and then we'll do shot natural lighting and do a flash test. All right, so it's now 10:20, but the check-in time is 9:45. I definitely don't love my makeup today. It was like one of those days where everything I used just was not working, you know? Even my blush, bronzer, and highlight, I feel like it just didn't blend on top of this foundation. You can see it looks like pretty patchy. I also felt like my concealer just didn't go on as smooth as normal, so the foundation for me is a hard pass at this point, unless something just magically changes, but right now I'm definitely like, would not put this on my face again. But I will show you guys what it looks like in natural lighting, but for the rest of my face, I use the Rach Loves Pixie palette for a highlight. I love this. I just have been going in with the shade Clutch, like almost every single day. I love this shade. For blush and bronzer, I use two of my go-tos, Milani 01 and then Frisky Business by ColourPop. I use these all the time and they don't look patchy normally, so it's definitely like going on top of the foundation. And then I use the Tati Beauty palette for my eyes and I just could not get it to work today. For lips, I have on a really excessive combo of 3 different products today. I'm using the Nabla Zen liquid lipstick, and then to lighten it, I put on this CoverGirl one in the shade 006. This is such a pretty like nude shade. And then Caught You Bare Naked by Wet n Wild over top, and then I kind of like mattified it with powder over my lips, so you know, good luck recreating that lip combo. But let's go see what this looks like in natural lighting and we'll do a flash test. All right, so here we are in natural lighting in front of the window, and it definitely looks a bit more radiant than what I could see in my other lighting. It actually looks better. Like, it's looking pretty good on my forehead. I am still starting to crease around my mouth area, but it overall looks much better right now than what I could tell before. I still don't like how it blended out and how just like patchy and streaky it was and just difficult to work with. So we'll see how it wears throughout the day, but even just off of like application, it's not an easy foundation to apply. It doesn't glide like a stick foundation should, and you also just really have to work with it. So while it looks nice right now, I definitely still am not like, you know, dying to put this on my face tomorrow. So let's do a flash test. Oh, wow. Why does that look so rough in flash? Holy crap. I am so confused by this foundation. It looks like an entirely different foundation in every lighting scenario. My face looks horrible in this photo. It looks like super textured around my nose, upper lip, and pores, and then around my mouth it looks really cakey. It does look like there's some flashback. Let me try my other lighting like in my room and see how it looks, because I'm confused now. All right, so let's see how it looks in here. Here I think it looks pretty close to lighting I was just in. Oh wow, I have lipstick all over my teeth. It doesn't look quite as dewy, but it does look still more radiant than on the matte side. You can see the creasing starting around my mouth. And then here's my forehead. In certain parts, it does look a bit dry. Shade is too light. It definitely look a little bit ghostly. So I guess we will just see how this one does throughout the day. I'll see you guys in a few hours back in natural lighting. Okay, so it's now 4 o'clock, so the foundation's been on for about 6 hours at this point. And overall, I think it looks pretty good. It's just looking very creasy around my mouth and my upper lip, but my forehead doesn't look too bad. It looks like there's starting to be a little bit of separation. It's like breaking down right here. But there you can see the creasing on my upper lip. It's pretty intense. I mean, it's happening all the way across both sides and then around here. It looks good up here. It just looks like it's starting to separate a little bit right there. Here's the sides of my face. By the way, anytime I don't point this out, if I overline my lips and I don't say something, people think I get lip fillers. So just FYI, I did not get lip fillers. I just overlined my lips a little bit more than I usually do if it looks different. So there's that, but I'll see you guys in the next check-in at the end of the night. All right, so it's now almost 9 o'clock, so it's been on for over 11 hours at this point, so this is a long one. It definitely look pretty like oily now, very shiny. I'm also getting a reflection from like my overhead light right now because it is dark out, so it's like, you know, extra reflective, but I definitely look pretty oily. Let me just feel yeah, it's like oil is coming off. The creasing has gotten pretty intense and it's also like rubbed off a lot on my upper lip. It definitely transfers, like this one is super not transfer proof at all. Like as soon as you touch your face, it just comes off directly onto your finger. I haven't looked since the last one, so I feel like between the last one and now, it definitely went downhill. I think it looked pretty good for the first half of the day. I just really don't like how it went on and how it blended out and applied and everything. But if you've tried this foundation, let me know what you think of it down below. If you enjoyed today's Foundation Friday, you can give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. If you're new here, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.